I got Denise Ames with me on the phone from California. How's it going, Denise?
It's going fantastic, Jason. Thank you so much for letting me come on your show and bug your listeners.
Focus in the mix.
Focus in the mix with Denise Ames. Yep, you got it.
Projects you're doing these days?
Well, basically I'm just concentrating on the show and interviewing more people to put them up. We just started a website, www.focusinthemixwithdeniseames.com. That just went up just today so that people can start to view the show all around the world. And right now on there is Jay Aston from Gene Loves Jezebel, and next we've got Rudy Zarzo from Quiet Riot, Nazi, and Whitesnake, and Dio, and now in Blue Oyster Cult, and then after that will be Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. So I'm just pre-producing for our next taping, which will be Trevor Still from the Escape Club. Remember that song Wild Wild West?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to do it acoustically on my show,
Wow.
so everybody can see that. Yeah, and then also if you live in L.A., the show airs on channel 165 on Time Warner, the first and third Friday of every month. But a lot of people don't have Time Warner, so now they can see the show on the net.
Every month or something, you're gonna have some updates on your site?
Oh no, every week or so there'll be a new episode. It'll be just like on TV.
No, that is
It
good.
used to be on video on demand, and so it'll just be like video on demand, except just instead of just people in SoCal being able to see it, the whole world can see what we would have put on video on demand. So anyway, we're very excited, and I've never had a show on the internet before, so I am just thrilled to death, and we'll see what happens. And a lot of people know about it from the Facebook. I just started a Facebook, as you know, Jason.
For sure.
And they can just search for Focus in the Mix with Denise Ames, and you just click like, and then you're in, and just post something on the wall, and I'll communicate with you. I answer back everybody, and then they can see updates and who's coming on next, and from the set and all that good stuff. Right now, there's some pictures with Rudy and with Lemmy on there that are hilarious. So anyway, there you go.
Now, Facebook, you just embarked finally on the big Facebook thing. Why so long? Why did you wait?
Because I wear so many hats doing this TV show. It takes me like 80 to 100 hours a week, and I had to be convinced to get on MySpace a couple years ago, and finally Phil Lewis from LA Guns, I was hanging out at his house in Hollywood, and he sat me down and forced me to get on MySpace. And so that took me a while to just do that. And then one of my best friends, Gretchen Bonaducci, she's the one that forced me to get on Facebook like 2.5 weeks ago. So that's why I'm there. It's because of them.
Well, finally, and you're going to be updating all your fabulous photos with your artist that you're with?
Yes, the MySpace and the Facebook are always updated, and then now, of course, the website. So that would be correct. And also, if people are interested in past episodes, because I've had, Carmine Appice on, and Vinny Appice, his brother, and the Blue Oyster Cult, Carlos Cavazzo. I've done about 122 episodes now. All those are available on DVD, so they can see a list of all my past episodes if they want to order them, and a lot of people do from all over the world. I'm very surprised. I get orders from the Netherlands, from Germany, and then down the street in Glendale. So we make it accessible that way also.
I mean, what you're doing is like, creating a catalog of legendary interviews, and classics.
Because they have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to, talk about their history and how they made it, what they're doing now, and what they've been doing in between. And so I give them an outlet to do that, and it's all positive stuff, which a lot of people, that's why a lot of viewers tell me that they watch because everything's positive. So there you go. Yeah, it just seemed to be filling a void. I had no idea that it was going to take off like it has.
Well, you just keep on working at it. Facebook will deliver, I'm sure. You'll reach a high value of number.
Yes, yeah.
I'm really impressed to see you there because, you've been on MySpace for a little bit now. Now, when are you going to embark on the big Twitter?
Oh, my gosh. I already had somebody ask me about that. I got to get through Facebook first. So eventually, probably, dare I say it, I'll try to get on Twitter. But again, because I wear so many hats, to produce the TV show, because I book the guests, I write the show, I find the news, then I have to host it, then I sit in the editing session. So it's a lot. So I don't have that much more time. So I just have to find something. I just have to find more time, And if I could, I would really my show would not be possible without my sponsors. I would like to thank Columbo's Italian Restaurant and Jazz Club and Eagle Rock, the best Italian food in town. They're a huge sponsor of the TV show and have been with me for years. Vendom Wine and Spirits, who has the funnest, if that's a word, the funnest wine tastings ever. I'm going tonight. They have them Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and that's in Toluca Lake. And Fuel Label Group, they have a lot of back catalog artists. Carmine Apiece is a big one on there. And also Freedom Real Estate. That guy, the president of Freedom Real Estate, Louis Cruz, he actually saved my house. And he's helped a lot of my friends out of this horrible housing crisis. So they have stepped it up and started sponsoring the show. And, of course, All Access Magazine, who has been with me since the very beginning. So I just wanted to thank them, and I appreciate you letting me do that.
No problem. Your friends are my friends.
Yay, I know. And thank you, Jason. You've been a supporter of the show. I don't know how you found me, but you found me a couple of years ago, and you're just always so supportive of the TV show and seem to like the guests I have on, and it really means a lot to me. So thank you very much for all your support for the last couple of years.
No problem. You do the great work, and the audience will come. That's how I found you in the first place. You had Rudy Sarzo and all that.
Field of Dreams. Do the work, and they will. Sounds like Field of Dreams. Do
Yeah.
the work, and they will come.
The internet's a big, big place to go on to. But
yeah,
it's it's a hard work, but you just have to work hard, and eventually the people do find you after you do 100 some interviews, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It starts being cataloged and indexed on the internet.
You got it. So, and like I said, all the 120 episodes I've done, they're all available on DVD. So anybody that's missed anything, they can just check on the MySpace, and eventually it'll be up on the Focus in the Mix with DeniseAmes.com website, all the list of the past celebrities, and they can always order those episodes too.
Denise, let's go to A Day in the Life with Denise Ames and Until the Nighttime. How is that possible with Denise?
I'll let the cat out of the bag. I usually work in my pajamas. I feel like I'm the female Hugh Hefner, and I get dressed. I get dressed up when I have to tape. Other than that, I'm usually working in my pajamas. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but it's true. I can't lie. And during the day while I'm working, pre-producing or post-producing the show, I also take care of my 8 rescues, who I love. I have 4 rescued dogs and 4 rescued cats. And I run a lot of animal PSAs, from PETA PSAs on the show, and that's another reason why a lot of people have said that they watch, because of my animal rights, how I feel about animals. So I do that and book the guests, and the phone rings, and then the other phone rings, and it's gets crazy. And I usually work about 6.5 days a week, and every day is different. But in a nutshell, that's what it is. Either I'm taping all day, or else I'm in my PJs working on the show for you guys.
And how late do you work at night, let's say?
You know what? It depends. Sometimes I can work as late as, midnight.
Wow.
It just all depends on what I have to do and what my deadlines are, So I also write for allaccessmagazine.com. So I do feature stories, and they've got deadlines as well. So, I got to juggle all this stuff. So that's what I do.
Rescuing animals, you're writing in magazines, and you're doing all this, TV editing and work, and you're probably a small crew also.
Yeah, I have an editor, but I sit in there. I sit in the edit sessions, to make the show the way that I think that the viewers want to see it. So, I don't know how to edit. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to think I'm that smart. But, so I do all that, and then I have a wonderful cinematographer too. And it just happens to be that I just thought of it. We have an all-female crew. Everybody that works on my show is a girl.
When is that trend going to break?
Well, it works out great because the rock stars love it, because everybody's cute that works on the show. All of my crew members just happen to be cute chicks, and the rock stars seem to like it. You know what? Maybe they tell their friends, and that's why other rock stars call me to get on, because they just want to hang out with the crew.
That's the secret of the popularity.
Maybe. Who knows? But I love my cinematographer, Barbara Porter. She's also my very best friend, and my wonderful editor, Jenny Marcos. So there you go. Yep. Wonderful people. Hear my dog barking in the background?
One of how many again?
4. That's one of my rescues. That's Max, but I call him Poo Poo Head. Hey, Max, settle down. Yeah, I got him from the Glendale Pound.
Oh,
they said they couldn't place him, and I asked why, and they said because he bites everybody he meets. I'm like, oh, big deal. And they said, well, we thought you'd say that. And so I went in the next day and I scooped him up, and he's been fine ever since. Never have a problem with him.
So no problem.
Typical.
No problem with Poo Poo Head.
No problem with Poo Poo Head. And I named him after what JFK Jr. used to call his dad. He used to call the president Poo Poo Head.
Really?
And then JFK would say, do you realize that you just called the leader of the free world Poo Poo Head? And he's like, JFK Jr. be, good night, Poo Poo Head. So it just fit. I thought he looked like a Poo Poo Head. There you go. So yeah, one of my 8.
Now, Denise, how do you start into this business? You just didn't just come out of nothing, did you?
No, but actually I've had no formal education. I kind of, I don't want to say fell into it, but I kept banging on doors, and finally somebody decided to help me out. And I had a mentor over at NBC News in Burbank, and he convinced an editor of 2 newspapers to give me a shot. And for some reason, I'm able to write. I don't know how I do it because I don't have any formal training, but I went from doing little teeny features to cover stories, and I wound up getting my own column. And that was in 2 newspapers. And then he asked me, I've always wanted to do a TV show based on the newspaper. And being in L.A., a lot of celebrities were in the newspaper, so celebrities kind of came with it. And he said, would you like to do a TV show? And I said, sure. And he goes, do you know how? And I said, no, but I'll figure it out. And 2 months later, I had us on the air. And then I moved away from that and started getting into, regular advertising TV because that was on public access. And changed the name of the show because people said, you need to put your name in it so we can find you when you switch shows. And so that's why it's called Focus in the Mix with Denise Ames. And then here I am. And I film at Cleopatra Records now, too. They built me a studio in their headquarters in L.A. because they deal with a lot of rock stars, and they love the show. And so they found me and said, hey, if we build you a set, will you come and film over at Cleopatra? And I said, you bet. So I've been filming over there for over a year, and it's great for everybody because Cleopatra has the rock stars coming in to film, and then they get to talk to them after I'm done with them and make deals with them, and the rock stars are happy because they walk out with a deal and an interview, and everybody wins.
Wow. Everything's looking good
Pretty
there.
Amazing, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. I got lucky.
Me, in good old Nova Scotia, Canada, we gotta wait until the bands come touring down here to do in-person interviews.
Exactly.
At least everything's right there for you.
Yeah, because most of them live here. But also, a lot of them, like, for instance, Trevor Steele from Escape Club, he's in Australia, and he actually called me from Australia and said, hey, we'll be coming through there in May. You want us to come on your show? And I said, sure. So, see, I get those, too. And then, Jay Aston, he's based out of London. He now lives in Los Angeles, but when he did the interview, he came over here from London on business, and so, I throw him in the chair. But most of them do live here, like Lemmy lives here, Rudy lives here, Carlos, Juan Crucier, he lives here. He was on. And then there's people like Blue Oyster Cult that are based in New York, and every time they come through here, they come on the show. Buck Dharma and Eric Bloom, dear friends of mine. And then the people from Missing Persons, they live here. Most of them live here, you're right.
Do you have unreleased videos or interviews that's never been broadcasted yet?
Nope. Well, I have interviews that haven't been edited, so that doesn't really count because they will be broadcasted. But no, every single thing, every episode I've taped has been aired or is going to air. So,
okay.
Yeah, no.
Do you live the concert lifestyle at night?
You know what? I don't have time unless they're my friends. Like, Motorhead, obviously, if Lemmy's playing, I'm going to go because I'm going to go hang out with them. But I don't really go to too many shows as, like, a fan because it's like work for me. Of course, when Blue Oyster Cult, every time they roll through here, I go to the 3 shows that they play in SoCal because they're my friends. So I haven't been recently. I've been asked to go to shows, but it's like working for me. You know what I mean? So people that are my friends, that's when I go to their shows.
Well, seems you got the life pretty well made. Are you living comfortably now? All happy?
Well, it's interesting because I've been told that a lot of people think that I live, like above the Sunset Strip and drive around, zip around in my red Ferrari. No, that is not true. I live in a house in North Hollywood and just have a normal car, and I'm just trying to make a living like everybody else. So, I'm not like riding the highway yet, but I'm trying to get my show syndicated or picked up, on a network. So then maybe that could happen. But for right now, I'm happy delivering the rock stars that the viewers request to see, and just trying to make my way. And I'm just glad that I can make a living out of interviewing them. I used to hang out at the Rainbow when in the 80s, when like Rat was getting big and Motley Crue. I knew all those. Well, I saw those bands play before they got big at the Troubadour, and so it's weird because now those bands are big that I used to see when I was in high school, and now I'm interviewing them. It's like full circle. Yeah, and hanging out with them at the Rainbow. I hang out with Lemmy at the Rainbow. Rudy's there at the Rainbow with his dog, and yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Full circle. I never knew that I was 25 years ago. I never knew I'd be doing this.
You ever happen to meet Randy Rhoads in those days?
No, and Rudy still misses him. And that Rudy has an awesome book out, Off the Rails.
Oh, it's awesome.
And Off the Rails, it's about Randy Rhoads, because everyone always asks him about Randy, and it's pretty juicy and pretty interesting. And he talks about it on my show when his episode will be up in about 2 weeks from today. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but it should be up in the middle of May. And he talks about the book. And yeah, I wish I could have met Randy, but I was way too young when he was playing. He was playing clubs that I think weren't even around when I started hanging out on the Strip.
Now, that Randy Rhoads book called Off the Rails is an extremely well-written book also.
Yeah, and the pictures are amazing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so honest in it, too.
Oh, it's awesome book. Ever read the new Ozzy Osbourne, I Am Ozzy?
Not yet, but I did a news segment on it about the review. Somebody reviewed it in All Access Magazine, so I do give insight on what is in there and what's not, and I'll tell you something that will be on the show at the end of the segment. One thing that the book reviewer from allaccessmagazine.com noted that was missing from that book was whatever happened at Ozfest 2005 when Iron Maiden got pelted with all those eggs. I was in the audience reporting for the newspaper, and I got pelted with one of those eggs.
Really?
And I later found out who was up to it and why it happened and who was behind it. But because I'm a positive person, I'm not going to say. But I do know why it happened and who did it.
Yeah, because it made the Blabbermouth website news.
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah. Well, of course
Yeah.
you do. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and a lot of people came to me and asked because they saw the article once it was published and said, do you know what happened? And yeah, I do, but I just need to be careful because I don't want to get in trouble, but I do know what happened.
Well, that's fine.
But,
you're a
yeah.
great positive reporter, and that's
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
But I was there and I got hit. I was right there in front of Iron Maiden in the barriers taking notes, and my photographer and I both got hit. I know there was egg all over my papers. I'm like, what is this? But so that's missing in I Am Ozzy, but I heard that it's a really good book. Besides that. And actually the news segment I put on Rudy's episode, so, because Rudy was in Ozzy, so I just thought it made sense. I think I'll put this I Am Ozzy book review news segment on Rudy's episode where he's being interviewed, so they can see that in a couple weeks on the internet if they'd like.
Guess who I'm interviewing Sunday night? Rudy Sarzo again.
Oh my gosh, awesome. Please tell him I said hello.
You know I will.